Let me quickly give you the difference between these three brain networks that I spoke about earlier. These networks, they connect different areas of the brain. So they are not the same. So this is how they were picked up, also using the functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI scanner. So when you look at the first network, which is the central executive network, also known as the task-positive network, it connects the area or the region of the brain that is called the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, which is like on the side of your frontal lobe. And then it connects that area with another one that is called the posterior parietal cortex, around the parietal lobe. And the second one that I talk about is the default mode network. Now, the default mode network, it talks about also two areas. And I talk about the medial prefrontal cortex. The medial prefrontal cortex then connects with the area like your posterior cingulate cortex. So this posterior cingulate cortex is something that is the posterior part of your cingulate gyrus, which is the cingulate cortex. And then we have the Salience Network. The Salience Network, which is the one that tells you about the physical sensations, that tells the body in terms of what's happening, that brings those things to awareness. Then we talk about areas like your anterior cingulate cortex, as well as your insula, which is this part of the brain. When you open up, just this feature here of the brain, and you just open it up, then you see the insula over there. So that insula is connected with, to your anterior cingulate cortex. This is just to give you, but we discuss these things, in detail. But this is something that you need to understand. This is how you are able to see which network is on, when you perform a certain function. So these are not just things that have been thumb-sucked, or it's not just guesswork. It's something that is evidence-based. So now I'm sure you get to understand just a little bit about this brain network. So we don't think in terms of just regions, it's about networks. So this helps us to move from this regional era to this era that also we called hemisphere era. Now we're talking about this network era, where we need to understand that we think in terms of networks, because it's not just one located, area or region that just does that thing on its own. But how the brain functions, it's all about teamwork. So when you talk about teamwork, is when people come together, then they connect with each other. That gives us results. So it's not just one thing, one person, that brings this and just does everything on his own, on his own or on their own. So I think now this should give you some little bit of indication of what I'm talking about. So this book here, The Neuroscience of Effective Leadership, which is the book that I wrote with you in mind, is something that will help you a great deal as well to get to understand what are these things that I'm talking about. Because if you don't understand yourself better, you cannot manage yourself better. And if you cannot manage yourself better, you can never optimize your performance. So it's about performance optimization that matters. And when you do that, then we are off to a good start. Let's get moving.